Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another day of the Madrid Sevens. This one a massive fixture. Now, as I guess slightly misleading as the scoreboard is, this game has not started yet. It's still 0-0 between these two sides because it has not yet kicked off, but it will be New Zealand versus South Africa. Two sides that were narrowly defeated in their first game. New Zealand up against the Fijians, losing it by 2 points, and the South Africans all but having their hands on that victory for the Irish were able to take it from their grasp. But looking through at these starting lineups for these two sides, Cody Vai is going to be there for New Zealand alongside Regan Ware, Tony Nashu, Dylan Collier, Sam Dixon, Andrew Newstub, and also Joe Webber. So all that's telling me straight away from looking through at that side, New Zealand know that they need to be on their A game because they have gone with pretty much the most experience that they could have across the board, with the exception of Cody Vai, where they'll try and use his speed to their advantage. For the South Africans, it will be Kua Nokia, Tristan Lades, Selvin Davids, Tiam Pretorius, Christy Hrobela, Impi Visa, and Justin Hirdold. So what I see there is the fact that South Africa are backing what they went with in the game up against the Irish, as they do feel it is strong enough to get themselves the victory over New Zealand. Of course, this is a must-win for these two sides, unlike the qualifier series which has taken place, including the likes of Samoa, Kenya, Spain, etc. Even if they lose all three of their games, they still make it through to the playoff games. This competition, only two of these four great sides will be making their way through, and the other two of those great sides, being Ireland and Fiji, will be in action just around the corner. Come on the All Black Sevens, says Cohen. And also come on New Zealand, says Manny M. And 840 hours, says Krampus. And there as well. Now, I should mention at the moment, Australia are playing the Fijiana women's side. Fiji just getting themselves their second try, but the score sitting 31 points to 12 in favour of the Australians. And I don't see this match being as high scoring as that one between Australia and Fiji. I can see these two sides taking it deep into the contest, and perhaps we see another game separated by less than 7 points. And in this format, in this competition that is, you do get yourself the extra point for being within 7. Who should be the new All Blacks captain? I mean, Savia has been rumoured quite a bit. Barrett's another name that's been thrown in there, but until we actually know the squad, we'll have no idea who is actually going to be in the captaincy picture. But for these two sides, off the bench, like I mentioned, New Zealand going with a huge amount of experience in the starting lineup, whereas off the bench, they haven't really got as much experience there. They've got Leroy Carter, Moses Leo. They still have Curry available. Roka Lisoa is listed as one of the players off the bench, although he did not play in the first match. And then also Brady Rush is there as well for the South Africans. Ryan Oosterhuizen, Sean Williams, Kat Letterbelly, Dylan Sage, and also Roscoe Speckman, who added some nice pace late in the game up against the Irish. And we have got there Justin Hidilt, says Cape Rebel League there as well. Looks like we're going to have one last play in this game between Australia and Fiji. Then we are straight into the action between New Zealand and South Africa. Now, I should also mention there is that game between Ireland and Fiji, but these sides will all be in action in only around 2.5, 3 hours time, where they will play again. Those games we're going to see South Africa versus Fiji, and then the other side of things will be New Zealand versus Ireland. That will determine who is making their way through to the semi-finals to play in the game tomorrow. Atletico Madrid, says Krampus. That is correct. There you go. Atletico Madrid, that is where they are playing, seeing as they are in the Madrid stadium for this contest. Can hold 70,000. I think they've got about 7,000 in attendance for this game. Hopefully a few more will pile in as the day progresses. Of course, it is now the weekend for those in Spain. But yeah, I'd say that they've probably got like 10,000, 15,000 if they're lucky, piled in to watch these games. At the moment, of course, Ireland are sitting top of the bunch. Fiji are sitting in second, and then these two sides are battling it out for the chance of being in that top two, because in this group, top two is all that will matter. But do let me know your score predictions, ladies and gentlemen, for this contest. They are just about to make their way onto the field here. New Zealand ranked 3rd, South Africa are ranked 7th. And we've got plenty more action coming tonight alongside the Sevens, the URC. We are going to get to see a South African derby between the Stormers and the Lions. So be sure to keep an eye out for that one. We are starting that live stream in only 50 minutes time, but Ryan Oosterhuizen leading the side out onto the field. It is his 50th tournament at the age of 28. Made his debut in Hong Kong back in 2017. It's crazy to think that 2017 was 7 years ago. Just doesn't feel like that long at all. But Zealand David's the captain for the South Africans in this one, whereas Dylan Collier will be the captain for New Zealand. Both of these sides fired up and ready for redemption. Hope you are well and ready for the Stormers game, says Ilmar. I certainly am. Gotta love a South African derby. If the Lions win that, they make it through to the top 8, or at least they should have a very good chance of being able to do so. But at the end of the day, the Stormers could be the side that cause a bit of a rivalry between them at the Cape Town Stadium. We have 15,000 in the beer queue, says Cape Rebel League. Of course, we are going to get to see those sides playing later on at Cape Town with the Stormers and the Lions. There's also the small matter of Real Madrid playing in the Champions League final today. I thought about that last night because when we were talking about the capacity of the stadium and how little there were in attendance for the game, it made me do a little bit of Googling. And yeah, like you said, there is going to be a final taking place with Real Madrid. So that's probably taken away from a lot of attendance. Now, I should mention we are not 17 minutes in. It is not 0-0. Well, it is, but it's now just kicking off. Zealand Davids to get us underway for this contest between the two sides. But Regan Ware taking it nicely inside of the 22. We know that South Africa will be physical in the breakdown, and that's a nice step coming from Cody Vai early, the youngest player and the least experienced player in this New Zealand starting lineup. It does seem like they're putting together all the veterans for the Olympics, with just a few of those young guys getting the opportunity to also win a goal. But Dylan Collier now passes on the outside to Cody Vai. Nice fend coming in. Good physicality shown by Justin Hirdold. Back across now for Andrew Newstub. One more pass near the touchline. Joe Weber keeping in the field of play was Tony Nyashu. I think quite able to break through the tackle attempt though of Kieran Nokia, and the penalty does go the way of the New Zealanders. And Real Madrid, says Krampus. Yeah, I think they're playing, Borussia Dortmund, I think, in the game later on. Now going back across for New Zealand. No rush in the way that they attack. It's always methodical when the older players are out on the field. They know that they don't want to use up extra energy. Tell you what, they're going to have to use up a little bit extra there because they have had to retreat to only 10 metres out from their line. Here comes Joe Weber, though. He's broken through, and it's going to have to be a 100-metre dash. He's not winning the foot race whatsoever. Kieran Nokia chasing him down like it was nothing. And now Newstub going to this left-hand side. Pass on the outside to Tony Nyashu. Brilliant defence from the Blitzboks, though. There could have easily been a breakaway try for New Zealand. They were not able to make their way through. Joe Weber now, another step, gets round Kieran Nokia this time. Zealand Davids tries to shut them down, and Collier goes through and will score the try between the posts. New Zealand now up 5 points to 0 after 2 minutes. And like they've just said, vintage New Zealand, and not because all of the players on the field, with the exception of one, are over 30, but Joe Weber broke through initially. Kieran Nokia came flying out of nowhere to take him down, but then it was actually Kieran Nokia's step, or Joe Weber's step, that went round Kieran Nokia, which created that initial gap, which then allowed Kiwis to get over the try line. That's going to make the score 7-0 with that conversion going over. We are not 20 minutes through, ladies and gentlemen. I should clarify once again, we are only 2 minutes through. And this contest, like they've just mentioned, 18 passes in a row there for New Zealand. You do not see that too often, that a side is able to hang on to the ball for as long as they did. Although they've just said 7 passes on that one, so maybe someone's been lying to me. Maybe that was before the penalty. That if you combine them, they've had 18, but nicely taken down low. Kieran Nokia by Joe Weber. Counter ruck coming from New Zealand. The ball is still there for Tristan Lades. What do you think went wrong with the Blitzboks this season? Hope they qualify for the Olympics. See, the crazy thing is, when you look at the players that the Blitzboks have got available, I don't think there's anything that should stop them from being able to succeed. You know, like they have got some really, really strong players in there, whether that's the youngster Kieran Nokia, whether that's the old veterans of the side like Selvin Davids, Zane Davids, etc. Big size with Krubela and Oosterhuizen. Something just didn't quite work out, unfortunately, for the Blitzboks this season, but that is also Sevens. At the end of the day, we look at someone like a Samoa. They went from being in, I believe, or they topped their group 6 times throughout the last season, and now they're fighting for their spot on the circuit. Now, South Africa didn't quite have that much of a fall from grace, but they are 7th. And it's just taken them a little bit longer to adjust, but they are still on the circuit, and that is the main thing because they can always improve. That's a great attack and run there from Pretorius. Cody Vai going to have to try and stop him. Beautiful running from the Blitzboks, and Krobela goes over. And that is now the first try of the match for the South Africans. One would think that an international media personality maybe like Hamish would have better seats instead of being at the back of the stadium. That is true, yeah. Believe it or not, I know you're joking, right? But there have been times that people have been like, why can't we see the little men running around in the background? Which I always give them a smart answer, which I feel bad for afterwards. But yeah, some people do actually think that this is where the game is taking place, behind me, and I'm just blocking it so that I don't get copyrighted. I feel the same. This is why I'm confused what went wrong, says Pixie Dust. It's the Irish match next. It certainly is, and they will be going head-to-head with the Fijians. That is going to be an entertaining game, that is for sure. 2 minutes remaining in the first half, 7 points to 5 in favour of New Zealand after the misconversion from the South Africans. They won't mind too much, though. They know that tries are the way to win this contest. Of course, those little conversions, though, can be crucial in tight games. We saw that in their game up against the Irish. We saw that for New Zealand in their game up against the Fijians. Can our Rugby Sevens do like our Springboks? I mean, they have before. They won the last World Cup. The Sevens for the Blitzboks, and they've got themselves another try there in the corner. Nokia, hang on, they want to check it. See whether or not maybe he has gone into touch. Are you doing the URC matches today? We are doing 2 of them, the 2 South African derbies, including the first one, which has taken place. Oh, it's going to be awarded as a try. They didn't even have to look upstairs for it. Just checking with the touch judge was Ben Breakspear, and Nokia now has scored another try in New Zealand. They weren't able to get that kickoff. And because of it, South Africa retaining and then going all the way to score themselves the try. Yeah, great finish from Nokia. Actually completely cleaned out the corner flag. Tough drop kick from the sideline, and it's just missed away to the side again. So the score will remain at 7 points to 10. But South Africa scoring 2 quick fire tries here is exactly what they need. And the reason I say that is because whoever loses this game, I believe mathematically, has a very, very slim chance of making it through to the next stage. Now, that is, of course, could be interesting. I thought you would do the Munster versus Ulster match. There's Connor. I mean, normally we would, but with the amount of live streaming that we have got over the weekend, that's playing the man in the air, and that will be just the penalty. Oh, in fact, he's going to the bin. Yellow card. Brain fade from Pretorius, smacking him while he was in the air. And now he is going to have to make his way off the field for the next 2 minutes. But yeah, with the amount of streaming that we already have, like by the time we finish that Sharks versus Bulls, we would have been going for about 14 hours. So I feel like it's probably not a unreasonable reason to not do the 16th hour of streaming. Although, to be fair, that is just the hours that we will be doing YouTube-related things. We would have only been streaming for about 10 hours by then. Oh, actually, no, more than that, probably about 11 and a half. But that's all right. Oh, that looked a bit high on Joe Weber. Higher, more Kiwi lads. The problem is, Kiwi lads, of course, most of them are asleep during the night when the Sevens are on, so that doesn't really work out. Dylan Collier going back across to the right-hand side. Tony Nashu goes across to Joe Weber. Now Cody Vai. Nice step coming in there. He has to duck under the clothesline. It's almost coming in from Impivisa. Ball is there. Oh, hang on. The TMO's checking for foul play. I believe that's that shot on Joe Weber. The one that I went, oh, he's almost had his head taken off. That's the one that they're checking, ladies and gentlemen. South African number 3. I believe that is Impivisa. Lots of Kiwi lads needs jobs. Says Crumpus. Although, when they learn that you don't make money off doing YouTube, then they will not be very keen. Yep, that was too high from Impivisa. He's hit him from force as well and almost jumped into the tackle. This could be danger for Impivisa here. Yeah, that's I believe, a yellow at the least. It's possibly even going to be a red card here. Oh, they found mitigation. What is the mitigation? I wonder. But it's going to be only the 2 minutes off the field for Impivisa. He will consider himself quite lucky there because that easily could have been given as the red card. But 1 minute remaining in this game. For this first half anyway. I like how the scoreboard says 27 minutes. Pretty much the easiest way to work out the scoreboard is take away 20 minutes off it. And you're pretty much all good to go. It looks like New Zealand are going to be going for the scrum. As South Africa only have, we've got to remember, 5 players on the field. It looks like Tiam Pretorius still has another minute remaining. 2 minutes remaining of Impivisa's yellow card that he just received. This is going to be a tricky time at the moment for the South Africans. But if they can get through this, I think that if New Zealand don't score during this 2 minute period, South Africa are winning this game. And that is a big prediction, but they have to score. They've got the 2-man advantage. They are firing away to this left-hand side. Regan Weir almost doing his ankle by slowing down there. Now Cody Vi looking to the short side. Bumps off Tristan Lays. Gets the offload away to Newstub. Now he was almost tackled a little bit of a seatbelt there. They are going to check this one to see whether or not Tristan Lays may have connected a little bit high. But I think he's done enough to stop him from getting this ball down. Right, they are going to check the grounding. Lades needs to make sure that he wasn't too high. That looks like a seatbelt. That might be a little bit dangerous for Tristan Lades. Still has him round the neck as well. But he stopped him from getting the ball down. So it's just a question of whether or not it is a seatbelt tackle. Now, in that case, I feel like he's a little bit unlucky because he did work quite well to get that ball initially, but then that just rode up a little bit. I think Carl Tanana in the commentary is saying that that's going to be a seatbelt. Oh, here we go. Okay. No try, though there is a high tackle. This is another yellow card. South Africa have 4 players on the field, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a penalty try to New Zealand. The score is 14 points to 10. South Africa, you know, back in the day when you play like Rugby 08 or one of the rugby video games and you see how many cards you can get, you know, you go around clotheslining everyone. It's not what South Africa have done here, but they are playing with 4 men on the field at the start of the second period. As Fiji will play next match, they certainly will. They are going head-to-head with the Irish in the next contest. They're going to have no players left at this rate, says Novamama. I wonder what the lowest number of players on a field in a game of sevens is. I would assume that 4's got to be pretty close to it. Maybe even, maybe someone's got down to 3 if they're really lucky, but I would say 4's probably the lowest that we have covered on the channel anyway. Oh, they got another ad for food. What is that burger? Quarter pounder. That looked good. Start of the second period. Says Krampus. So yeah, we are going to have, hey, we got at least a half time there. That is one improvement. I guess we cover the Island game. We certainly will. We are also going to be covering in between the 2 games of the URC. We are covering the match between Fiji and South Africa. So we are squeezing that in between, then jumping straight into the Sharks versus Bulls. So it will be a little bit confusing. What says Krampus? I'm confused at what you're confused about. How long is the game? It is 7 minutes each side, but like I mentioned, the scoreboard was wrong. All you had to do was take away the 20 and you had your right number. Let's go New Zealand. Just had some meat pies with Wattie's tomato sauce. Hamish homesick now from for Auckland, says James there. Some meat pies with Wattie's tomato sauce. That goes all right, tell you what. I also was very hungry at the end of that last Super Rugby stream, and I think that was because we talked about a lot of food throughout it. 7 minutes each half. Lol. Says Grumpus, that is how Sevens works, yes. The Fijians warming up. They are going to be playing in only 10 minutes' time. Wait, 10 minutes' time? How's that worked? Yeah, that's correct. Never mind. Sorry, I got confused. I was worried that they were actually going to be starting a little bit later than anticipated. In fact, they are. I think they're starting 5 minutes later, but we will be starting at our normal time, ladies and gentlemen. For that next one, Jerry 2Y says a Blues Nate. Of course, that game just around the corner, but this game is far from over. Springboks with 4 on the field, or sorry, the Blitzboks with 4 on the field. 7 minutes and only 7 players, or only 4 in this case. For the South Africans, Cody Vi tries to retain it, and Kuen Nokia. This is where New Zealand just have to throw everyone into the breakdown, because South Africa have to. Because if they want any chance of retaining the ball, it actually looks like they're back to 5. One of those yellow cards has run out. Selvin Davids now with some nice stepping, puts the ball on the outside to Christy Grubler. It doesn't matter how many players you got on the field, if you're in a foot race, and you can win it one-on-one like South Africa have here. Selvin Davids scores, and the Blitzboks with 5 on the field have scored the first try of the second half. Like I mentioned, it's all about one-on-one in a foot race. Doesn't matter if you've got 3 players on the field, 7, 15. If you win that foot race, you're going to have yourself a good chance of scoring the try. Imagine going to watch rugby for only 14 minutes. Well, that's why there's so many games back-to-back, Crumpus. So theoretically, for the whole day, you probably watch about, I'd say, 8 to 10 hours of rugby, somewhere around there. So that's a lot. You know, only Fiji can play with 4 players, says Danger Bull. And that one has gone over from the South Africans. So now, in the second half, they are sitting with a 17 points to 14 lead over New Zealand. Still time for the Blitzboks, and let's talk pizza. Oh, tell you what, I really want pizza. I might have to get some in like 2 or 3 days' time. Just because last time we talked about the pizza so much, I never actually got some. And 3 hours to get to the stadium for 14 minutes. I think you're not listening, Crumpus, although that's not new. But yeah, like 10 hours of rugby that takes place throughout the day of Sevens. Plus, if you're complaining about only getting to see 14 minutes of your side playing, they do play multiple games throughout a day. Bacon and banana pizza, says Justin. That one's going to be kicked off. Knocked on, I believe, from Thean Pretorius. At the moment, the South Africans are playing with one-man disadvantage. Here comes Leroy Carter. It's going to be a foot race, though he has actually got the man with him, and he steps right around him. 2 South Africans, stays and can't quite get there. And Leroy Carter slides him for another try. During COVID, I ate so many frozen pizzas and put on so much weight, says James Martin. Tell you what, pizzas can be brutal if you have a lot of them. Because of, like, I can't remember the numbers, but I think one pizza's like 4,000 calories or something like that. And hi, Hamish, what time Fiji play who? Says Joseph, so they are going to be playing in 7 minutes' time up against the Irish. Both of these sides have scored themselves a try. The scoreboard's gone completely to sleep at this point, but New Zealand are winning this contest currently 21 points to 17. Oh, it might have heard me. It's just starting to kick back in. Oosh, Mr. Leroy Carter says a Blues note. The way that the table would sit, South Africa would only be on the 2 points, which wouldn't put them in an impossible spot of being able to get back in and get through, but it would definitely make it difficult, that is for sure. Hope Fiji beat them, says Justin. Yeah, of course it is 2 sides that got last-minute wins in their last contest. That's going to be kicked off by New Zealand, going just the 10 metres. Scott Curry tries to keep the ball in the field of play, but the touch flag is up, I believe, now. It's going to be either the knock-on or a scrum here by the looks. Or, yeah, it's going to be a scrum, I think. Jumps from inside. So he's not in touch, so it is a scrum here for the South Africans rather than the other option, which was going to be kicked out on the full. Okay, Sean Williams wanted the line out, but yeah, it is going to be the scrum here for the South Africans. They are only 4 points down as we currently sit, which means that there is plenty of time for them to be able to fight back. Are you able to stream the Champions League final? No, sadly. With the amount of streams that we're doing before it, like we would have already done about 12 hours of streaming at that point, whereas the Kiwi that's located in New Zealand, I am in the South Island, about halfway up. Oh, that is going to be another penalty, or a little bit south of the halfway point, I would say. Halfway between Christchurch and Dunedin and that kind of area. I think crispy base better for your health than thick base, both junk food, but nice, says Brian. Now that one's going to be put into touch. Only 3 minutes remaining on the clock, and a decent kick downfield from Tristan Lades. When will Fiji be added to the Rugby Championship? I think it's been rumoured for a long time. Them and Japan seem to be the 2 front runners at the moment. That is going to be overthrown. New Zealand claiming it with Leroy Carter. Tristan Lades riding up a little bit high with that tackle initially before he dropped down to the legs. Saturday night equals pizza, beer, and rugby. And as well now, Brady Rush Goes off to a Kulia Rokalisoa. Another step there from Regan, where flicks it up to Brady Rush. Finds the offload to a Kulia Rokalisoa. New Zealand at the moment, just pass after pass. Looking to get this one right here. Nice step there. 400 million people will watch the Champions League final. I mean, if they're already going to watch it, that means that I don't have to worry about covering it, do I? No, cool, I've never visited the South Island, but I would love to. It seems really picturesque. Says James, that's a penalty to South Africa. Lades does take the quick tap. New Zealand currently with 2 men on the ground. Kicked in behind. Showing off the pace here of Selvin Davids. He's knocked the ball on though. Although Kieran Nokia is claiming the try, but I believe there was an initial knock on, maybe from Roscoe Speckman rather than Davids, but they will check it because there might be a chance that this one's grounded, depending on what body part it came off. Wait, no, well, they're checking the grounding here, but I think it was the knock-on initially that they did want to check. They're just checking the grounding here. I thought it was the build-up that they wanted to check here. I think Ben Breakspear, yeah, he's looking at it now. I think that's all New Zealand. I think that's all of Moses Leo, so I believe that will be a try for the South Africans here. You may award the try as the call, and South Africa now have taken the lead back 22 points to 21. This game is far from over with just the 2 minutes remaining. A brilliant finish. And really well done from Kieran Nokia, because he realised that there was a bit of a 50-50 in terms of whether or not Roscoe Speckman got his hands on the ball. There are 474 million people in Europe, says Krampus in there as well. And that one has gone over. So that is going to make the score now 24 points to 21 in favour of South Africa. And all of a sudden, just with that one try, South Africa would be top of the table at the end of this game and New Zealand would be bottom of the table. So that is how quickly it has rotated just in that short moment. Sean Williams is on the field at the moment and taking every second that he physically can, waiting for as long as he could before he had to kick it off. Not taken cleanly by Curry. I believe he's knocked it backwards though, so it is going to be play on in favour of New Zealand now with possession. Good afternoon, Hamish, at this very moment. I'm at the Cape Town Stadium. Oh, beautiful run from Brady Rush. He's broken through, and South Africa may regret that decision to take time off the clock. Oh, he puts it down. Williams almost putting in that shot. Can't wait for the game to start. Says Morne Lagrange, and of course we are going to be covering that game on the channel as well, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're pretty much starting that directly after the matchup that is taking place between Ireland and Fiji in the sevens, but New Zealand has taken the lead now in this game. Are they going to be able to finish the job though with a few moments remaining? Now keep hold of the ball. South Africa yellow cards, had a 2-minute rest, says Nathan Smith, but 5 seconds left on the clock now. New Zealand are up 28 points to 24. And come on the blitz box. Right, the siren has sounded. New Zealand will look to kick this deep, I would assume, or maybe they look to go short and try and retain that kickoff and slap it back onto their side. I wonder if he can get strategic here, Kulia Rokalisoa, and just try and absolutely batter the ball towards the touchline. I know it wouldn't look like the cleanest kickoff ever, but it would actually probably be quite effective. That one's gone high, and South Africa are in possession inside of their 22. Ryan Oosterhuizen breaking through the line here for the blitz box. That ball is being dropped, kicked forward by a Kulia Rokalisoa, who puts it away to Rush. Oh, they've said that it wasn't forward, which means that New Zealand score, and that will take away the bonus point of South Africa. I feel like they've got to look at that one again, don't they? But that is possibly a try for New Zealand. Okay, score another try. Right, we're going to see this. First of all, right. That looked close to forward. Yes, it bounces awkwardly, so that probably made it look more forward, but I think that one's going to stand, and New Zealand are going to win this game 33 points to 24. 2 minutes for a yellow, and come on the blitz box, says Pixie Dust there, and slap that ass, says Tony, but that kick is missed from New Zealand, but they have won this game 33 points to 24. We are now transferring over to that next live stream taking place between Ireland and the Fijians, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll see you all in a very short moment.